We're going to go talk through the layers of who has been assassinated, who they are, the nuclear scientists including, and some of the sites as well. But I want to go first to Tara Kangarlou, a friend of the programme, global affairs journalist, adjunct professor at Georgetown University, author as well of The Heartbeat of Iran. Great to have you on the programme with us, Tara. First of all, when we're looking at the rhetoric from the Iranian leaders right now, calling this a declaration of war, talking about revenge and the serious consequences, give me your reading.
Absolutely. And as your other great guests have been mentioning, Iranian government officials, I think, live in this disillusioned bubble. Quite frankly, Iran is at its weakest right now. They have nothing to fight back with, to an extent that they weren't even able to intercept the attacks at some of the most sensitive places, including nuclear sites. Just minutes before I come on air, the Fardos site, again, one of the most important nuclear sites, has been hit. It has been confirmed. Reports of explosions are now, as we speak, being heard both on the east and west of Iran. I was just, again, minutes ago, speaking to a journalist, a colleague in Iran, and he was telling me, Tara, there cannot be any more chaotic moment in Iran's recent history. There are talks of retaliation, but quite frankly, in his words, being on the ground in one of the most prominent newsrooms in Iran, he said they are scrambling psychologically, they are weak capability-wise, militarily, they are at their weakest. They're still scrambling to know what they are dealing with, let alone retaliate. Now, again, earlier today, we saw some drones going toward Israel, again, intercepted over Jordan. So this boastful rhetorics of retaliation, quite frankly, I'm not sure if they are as strong as the Iranian leaders are making them sound.
No, it's interesting because you and I have spoken recently, and you talked about, certainly with the decapitation effectively of Hezbollah in Lebanon, how much of an effect that potentially has been. And to this instance, lots of questions, and we'll talk again with Noga and Catherine too, about why now. Suggestions that President Trump suggested himself that he'd been told about this, hadn't given the go-ahead, and he's since said this is excellent news, saying make a deal. Where do you think this plays with the current talks underway? Trump saying that there's still this sixth round of talks still scheduled for Sunday. It hasn't been cancelled yet.
I mean, Witkoff is saying it's not cancelled. Arakchi hasn't officially said it's cancelled, but reports are indicating that the Iranians are cancelling it. But again, Iran is not coming at anything from a position of power. They are coming at this from an extreme position of weakness. Now, Iranian government and the regime understands that they don't have the capacity to get into a full-scale war with Israel, because as we all know, going to an all-out war with Israel means an all-out war with the United States. And again, Iran cannot compete with that. Russia, China are in no shape or form going to come to Iran's rescue. Gulf countries, including Saudi and Qatar, have indicated that we don't want an all-out war. So what leverage Iran has? Pretty much nothing, right? So are they going to come back to the negotiation and negotiating table? Quite frankly, it's to their benefit, because otherwise their days are numbered. So many people in Iran want to see that, but strategically, militarily, they don't have the strength that they did a year ago, even at this moment.
Tara, what do you make of a number of senior analysts, including the former head of MI5 in the UK, who said this is a massive gamble? It can go one of two ways. One, that they can set Iran back 1-2 years. He says there are a few analysts that are looking at the possibility of completely dismantling nuclear capabilities towards weaponizing it. Or this just sets a speed of flow, the determination of the hawks within Iran to build something quickly, regardless.
To make this quick, because it is a complex discussion, to make it quick, based on, again, reports that are coming out of Iran, but also Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, he did say that they hit Natanz. That has been confirmed. Again, a hugely important site for Iran's nuclear program. So some serious damage to the infrastructure that is going to deter from Iran's progress in their nuclear program, some blow by the killing of the scientists. But mind you, Iran, over the years, as restrictions and inspection over its nuclear program has been reduced because the United States pulled out of the JCPOA, there were no oversight, right? So they went deeper and deeper and deeper underground. So who knows what they have, meters and meters down under. But exactly as you said, it can go one way or another. One thing I can say is that hitting nuclear sites, as IAEA Chief Grossi said earlier, is dangerous for everyone. For the environment, its impact is going to last for generations, for Iranians, but also the region. Again, no one in the neighborhood wants Iranian nuclear sites, which, by the way, are not just one or two, quite a few of them, to be hit, and we have a huge nuclear spill. So the stakes are very high. Israel keeps pounding Iran from all sides. They said it's going to take 2 weeks, so we'll see what happens. But once again, stakes are extremely high.
Now, I know you've got a number of US networks you're also speaking to this afternoon. I won't keep you, Tara, too long. What I would like to ask from you is your sense, all of the US networks this week, there were reports, I think as early as Thursday, that was something being planned. Was your sense it was going to be this soon?
One thing I can say, again, having been covering this issue for many years, is that there is always one person who does not want diplomacy between Iran and the United States, and that is Benjamin Netanyahu. He, at any moment where Iran and the United States have been close to any deal, any rapprochement, any engagement, he stepped in and torpedoed it. During the JCPOA, he didn't have luck with the Obama administration, but as soon as the Trump and his crew came in, he lobbied and he influenced then Trump administration to pull out of the JCPOA. And again, we are 24 hours away from the, what is it, the 6th round of talks between Iran and US, and this happened. If you ask the Iranians, they would say that the papers that were presented to the IAEA, again, 24 hours ago, were from the Israeli Mossad. Why now? Why did they present these papers to say that the Iranian stockpile and uranium enrichment levels are at such high level to create a bomb, right? So these are the questions that are worth asking. But again, it was inevitable that the Israeli Prime Minister is extremely unhappy with the talks that have been going on, especially given the enthusiasm shown by President Donald Trump. And if I may just say one last thing, I don't want to take time from your other guests in the program, but again, in the middle of all of our nearly 90 million ordinary Iranian people who are so tired of this back and forth between the regime inside Iran, who has been choking them, oppressing them for years, and also the West. It's really these people who are suffering the most, and I think it's important to bring awareness to that as well.
Tara, good to talk to you on France 24 this evening. Tara Kangarlou, Global Affairs journalist, adjunct professor at Georgetown University and author of The Heartbeat of Iran. We'll speak to you soon. Let me